Hi guys and welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I will be talking about gearing in the War Within. I will show you what are some of the new items that will be very important for you to upgrade your gear. I will explain what are the different categories of armors and from where you will be able to get all of them. And after that, I will also go through each of the main sources for all these different pieces of gear. And I will explain what type of gear you will be able to get during each week of the first patch of the War Within. So the first important thing for you to note is that most of the systems that have been implemented in Dragonflight are still the same in the War Within. Just some of the items are changed, but overall it's exactly the same. So for instance, we still have the different categories of gear, we have the same types of ranks, and we also have the same upgrade system. So in terms of the different categories of gear, we have the Explorer gear, Adventurer, Veteran, Champion, Hero, and Mythic gear. Of course, we also have a few of the different BOEs that you will be able to find on the auction house. It includes, for instance, the different crafted blue BOEs from all the different professions that have an eye level of 545. There is also the different green PvP BOEs that we have an eye level of 545. And finally, all the different world BOEs that when you have them at level 80 will have an eye level of 564. Then next to that, we have the Explorer gear. So here, this is really the type of gear you will get at the beginning of your experience in the War Within, and the eye level will be from 560 to 580, and you will mainly get it from, for instance, the different quests, from world activities, and also from green PvP from the different vendors. You will be able to buy these type of items with honor points. Then after that, we have the Adventurer gear. So here you will have this gear from eye level 571 to 593. You will be able to get this gear from heroic dungeons, from delve catch-up. So basically through the delves, you will be able to purchase some catch-up gear for all your different alts, and it will be Adventurer gear. You will also get some of this gear from World Quest loots, and also from all the different rares in all the different areas of the new zone. Then after that, we have the Veteran gear. So here it's eye level 584 to 610. You will get this type of gear from Mythic dungeons, the normal ones, from LFR raiding, from delves from tier 1 to 3. Also from the different factions, you will have some of these items from the different vendors available when you reach a certain renown. And also from PvP, you will be able to buy this type of gear with the different bloody tokens you will get from world PvP activities and world quests. After that, we have the Champion gear. So here it's eye level 597 to 619, and you will get this type of gear from Mythic Plus. You will also have this gear from normal raiding and also from all the different time walking raiding, because during the first patch, you will be able to take part in all these different events. And each time when one of them is available, the gear from the raid will be 597, which is really good. Then you will also be able to get some of these different pieces of gear from delves when you're doing it with tier 4 to 6. You will also get this type of gear from the different world bosses. You will also be able to buy some from the different vendors linked to the renowns when you reach a certain renown. And you will also be able to buy it when you're doing PvP, and it will basically be the gladiator sets. After that, we have the hero gear, and here the eye level is 610 to 626. So you will get some of this gear when doing Mythic Plus 7 or higher. You will get some when doing heroic raiding, from also delves for tier 7 or higher. You will get some also when opening the last cache from the different delves, and you might also get some in your Great Vault. And finally, we have the Mythic gear. So this time it's eye level 623 to 639. And here, really the only way to get this gear is by doing Mythic raiding. You can also get some pretty powerful gears by simply crafting them, but the maximum eye level will be 636, so not the maximum eye level of Mythic gear, which is 639. In order to upgrade all these different categories of armors, you will need two things, some Valor Stones, and these are the type of items you will be able to earn from completing quests, raids, dungeons, battlegrounds, arena matches, and other activities at max level. And you will also need some crests. So here you have some new categories of crests. The first one that will allow you to upgrade the adventurer gear and also some of the veteran gear will be the Weathered Harbinger crest. So you will be able to get some from outdoor activities, from some of the different factions, from LFR, and also from heroic dungeons. You will then add the different carved Harbinger crest that will allow you to upgrade the last category of veteran gear and the first category of champion gear. So in order to get some of these different crests, you will need to do again some outdoor activities, upgrade the different renowns, do some normal raiding, mythic dungeons, and also mythic plus with up to +3. Then you have the Rune Harbinger crest, and so here it will allow you to upgrade the champion gear and hero gear. And this time you will be able to get these from heroic raiding and also mythic dungeons with +4 to +8. And finally, the last category of crests are the Gilded Harbinger crests. And this time you will only be able to get these from mythic raiding and also mythic plus with +9 or more. So one thing that is really nice in the War Within is the fact that you can get some really good quality of armor just by doing some solo content. First of all, you have all the different gear you will be able to get from the different renowns. And here, as I mentioned, you will basically be able to get a full set of veteran and champions gear. So this is something that is already really nice. Of course, you will need to buy them from the vendors, but at least this is something that you will be able to do on your own. After that, you also have all the different delves. So here you will be able to get some good quality of gear, for instance, veteran and champion when doing delves from 1 to 6. And then you can also push and do, for instance, delves at level 7 or higher, and you will be able to get some hero gear. And it's basically the same as heroic raiding. So I think this is really, really nice because it will reward a lot what you're doing on your own, especially through the delves. Of course, you're not going to be able to get too many of pieces of gear because it will be mainly from the cache in order to get some of the hero gear, and this is a weekly cache. But still, it means that on your own, you will be able to build a good set of gear and also occasionally get some hero gear, which I think is really nice. And next to that, you will also be able to keep crafting some new armor pieces. It's again very similar to the way it worked in Dragonflight. You will be able to get at some point some sparks of Omen, and then with these different items, you will be able to start crafting some very powerful pieces of gear with the maximum eye level being 636. So on your own, by doing this type of things, you will again be able to build some really, really good pieces of gear. And if you're someone who doesn't really like raiding, Mythic Plus and these type of things, you will still be able to get some good quality of gear by doing some solo content. And one thing that is also important to note when it comes to the delves is the fact that, as you can see, the more you're doing it at a higher level, the less upgrades you will have to do because the gear you will receive will already be upgraded to, for instance, the 3rd level or the 4th level, which I think, again, is a nice way to reward players who are doing these a little more difficult levels and who enjoy doing this solo content. Similar to this, when it comes to raiding, as you can see, for instance, if you're going on the first few bosses, it will be upgraded to only the 1st level, but then the more you progress and the more it will be upgraded, for instance here level 2, and on the last boss it will be level 4. So again, it means that you will have to spend less crests and valor stones in order to upgrade this gear, which is a really good thing, and again, it rewards players who are doing this more difficult content even within the raid. And as you can see, this is the same in heroic and also in the other difficulties. So it will reward you to do this raid and especially to kill the more difficult bosses. Now I want to talk about the first few weeks of this new patch and explain each week what type of items you will be able to get, what will be the highest eye level you can get if you are doing all the most efficient activities, and especially just share a good strategy in order for you to get some of the best pieces of gear possible. So not everything will be automatically available when the War Within will launch on August 26th. You will have to wait until September 10 when the first season of the War Within will launch in order to enjoy raiding, Mythic Plus, the higher tier of Dells from tier 4 to the maximum, and also, of course, by doing PvP activities. So all the different gear that is linked to all these different activities won't be available for the 2 first weeks. But you can still get some pretty good pieces of gear by doing other activities. So for week 1 and week 2, what I would recommend you to really try and focus on is to upgrade all your different reputations and factions, because as I mentioned, you will be able to then buy some of these different veteran and champion pieces of gear, and in total, it means that you can get a high level of 610 to 619 with some of these different pieces of gear. You will also be able to get some items that will allow you to craft some pretty good items with an high level of 606 when reaching some of the maximum renowns with all these different factions. So again, for me, trying to get your renowns as high as possible during the 2 first weeks is going to be something really, really important. You will also be able to already get some veteran gear by doing the different dells from tier 1 to 3 that will automatically be available. And here again, you will be able to upgrade them to a maximum of 610 high level. You will also be able to get some gear from the normal mythic dungeons. And so, as you can see, during the 2 first weeks, you will be able to get normally somewhere between 610 to 619, depending on how efficient you are in farming all these different pieces of gear and in farming the different factions. Of course, you can also decide to keep all the different crests and all your different valor stones in order to upgrade the gear you will be able to get from raiding and from Mythic Plus. It's really up to you to see if you want to get a really good high level early enough in the game, or if you don't really care and you want to keep your materials and your consumables in order to upgrade better gear later on in the patch. After that, on week 3, when season 1 will launch, you will basically have access to almost everything other than mythic raiding. And so here, what I would recommend you to do in priority is of course try to get one of these different sparks of Omen in order to start crafting some really good pieces of gear with an high level 636. You will also be able to do all the different dells with a really high tier, and so you will have a chance at getting some good hero and champion gear from the dells. And of course, after that, you have Mythic Plus and Heroic Raiding that will also be very, very good. It just depends if you have maybe a guild or friends in order to do this type of activities with them. But again, if you don't and you're just playing solo, the dells are probably going to be one of the best way for you to do all these different activities. And don't forget that when season 1 will launch, you will also have access to the Black Temple in Time Walking difficulty. And here, all the different pieces of gear will be with a champion level of gear, which is again really good. And so you will be able to get some of this gear pretty easily by simply doing that on all your different characters. Just another thing to remember, because in my opinion, this is a really easy way to get some pretty good high level gear on all your different characters. And then on week 4, you will have access to mythic ratings. So if you are chasing these really good pieces of gear, and if you have a guild and you can do this type of activities with them, then this is probably one of the best things to do in order to get some really good high level gear. When it comes to your different alts, if you're, for instance, planning to play on a few different characters and you want to get a good high level on all of them, 3 things to remember. The first one is the fact that you can actually buy all the different pieces of gear from the different renowned quartermaster on all your different characters once you've unlocked the reputation, because it's warband linked, and so it means that again you will be able to have access to all these different rewards on all your different characters. Of course, again, you will need a lot of resources in order to buy them, but this is still something to keep in mind. You will also be able to use the catch-up gear from the different delves in order to upgrade the gear of your different characters, which is another good way to enjoy some pretty good gear on your alts. And you, of course, have Time Walking, which is, in my opinion, going to be a really good way to upgrade the gear on your alts, especially during the 3rd week, when hopefully you will already have a little bit of high level on your mains and you will be able to upgrade the high level on your alts. So that's pretty much it for this pretty simple and quick overview of gearing in the War Within. I really hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I will be back very soon with more guides and more videos, and in the meantime I wish you all a great day. Bye!